feel like one of those YouTubers that are like, "Welcome back, guys. I'm your host with the most." Um, yeah. Hi, hello, welcome. I've been wanting to film this video for a while now. I've been talking about wanting to film this video for a while now in my last couple of videos. Oh my god, self-plug. Go check them out. They're vlogs, they're about Ramadan, they're about my daily life. You'll love them, I promise. I want to give a quick disclaimer that the sun, while it is out and shining and it's beautiful, but it keeps going behind clouds like every 5 minutes, so the lighting might change just a little bit here and there. But other than that, hi, hello, welcome to the Ramadan writing series, officially now. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a new project, a new writing project that I'm going to be working on, specifically for the month of Ramadan, hence why it's called the Ramadan writing series. And I'm actually going to split this video up into parts. So this is part one, the introduction. But if you want to skip around, I will leave timestamps, or is it timestamps? I think it is, in the description down below. So if you want to go do that, go do that. I'll give you a second. So to start off, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. My name is Sarah. I'm turning 21 this year, which is sickening, if I'm being completely honest. Yuck. Every time I think about like getting older in age, ugh, it's disgusting. It's despicable. Ugh. But I am a university student. I'm a STEM major, which, yay, school, education. But I'm also an aspiring author. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, inshallah, hopefully I can publish something in my lifetime, even if it's just one thing. Well, I technically have published something, but I don't like to talk about that one. It's really bad. But like a book, I want to publish a novel, a full-length novel, hopefully. Hopefully. What else is there about me? I like long walks on the beach, fine dining, and I hope to travel to a bunch of different places someday. I have a travel bucket list, and I can't wait. Oh, what? Sorry? Oh, no, 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 it's the introduction. Introduction of the book, not me. They're not here for me, but I'm like but I'm like the author. Like I matter, right? No? It's all about the book. Let's talk about the book, I guess. Let's start with the conception of the novel, shall we? One day in like September or October of 2023, I believe, I was in my university's library and I was sitting there studying for an exam that I can't even remember what it was about now, when I had the sudden and visceral thought that I should drop out. Yeah, drop out. Let's drop out. Let's drop all of my classes right now, drop out of university altogether, and start a cafe. So naturally, I went to my friend and I said, "Hey, I have an amazing idea. Let's drop out and let's open up a bookstore slash cafe slash library slash book thing." Does that not sound like an amazing idea? Like $1 million idea? It's never been done before. And she made the mistake of indulging me. So we were going back and forth in our text chain. We were like, oh my god, this would be a cute idea. Oh my god, this would be a cute idea. And oh my god, we could do this and this and this. And then eventually she was like, oh, that was nice. That was a nice imaginary scenario. Imaginary? It wasn't imaginary to me. I was making Pinterest boards and documents. Like I was looking up flights. I was looking up store fronts for sale. Like, what do you mean it was imaginary to you? It was. To make it worse, she said, "Okay, it's time to get back to work. Let's lock in." Lock into what? We're dropouts. We agreed. We're dropping out. So I solemnly went back to studying for that exam and I kind of forgot about it until a couple weeks later. I had the genius idea that, if I couldn't live my dreams and if I couldn't drop out of university, I was gonna make the people in my head drop out of university and start their coffee shop. So help me God. And thus, an idea was born. Here's my beautiful book cover. Oh my god, look at it. It's amazing, wonderful, amazing. I love it so much. It's something that I just like whipped together quickly on Canva. Actually, let me show you my first iteration of the cover. So this is the first iteration of the cover. This is what I made and I sent to my friend and I was like, "Look." This is the third. Yeah, this is the third iteration. So the first thing that I did with this one was I added this like brown box thing. And I actually didn't like it at first. I thought it looked dumb, but then I was like, okay, let's trust the process. Let's add this little sign and add, Literary Latte Book Cafe, which, by the way, not the official final name of the cafe. Actually, all of this is subject to change. Like, none of this is set in stone yet. And then I added these coffee beans over here and I added these rings. Adorable. Once I added the beans over here, I thought the beans down here and up here were a little redundant. So I added a sort of like brick wall texture and it just sealed the deal even more. So beautiful, 10 out of 10. I love it so much. And then on the front cover, nothing really changed except for the font that I used for my name and the New York Times bestselling author and also the Emily Henry blurb. Did Emily Henry blurb this book? No, it's not even out. It's not. I haven't even written the first draft yet. Come on, let's be serious. But am I also a New York Times bestselling author? No! Let me be delusional, all right? Manifest the things that you want. If you want to read it, it says let me zoom in. It says sharp, witty, and entirely too cheesy because that's what I want it to be. I want it to be sharp, witty, and entirely too cheesy. Thank you, Emily Henry, for that amazing blurb. I did come up with this back cover blurb in a single stream of conscience session. The only thing that I changed from it, like from 2023 to now, is I changed the names because previous names were too close to me and my friend's actual names. I was like, no, it's gonna be very obvious that it's like self-insert fan fiction. Well, is it fan fiction? But I really quickly want to say that none of the things that I'm about to say, like the blurb that I'm about to read, none of these things have ever happened to me or to her. Like, we've never fought over a man. Please, a man? Please. This is all fiction. It's all fiction. Mina thought Noura was joking when she suggested they drop out of university and start the coffee house masquerading as a bookstore they've always dreamed of. Fast forward a year and a half, the girls are out $20,000 and sleeping in Mina's aunt's spare bedroom, the one that used to belong to her cousin, Saint Asma, the golden child turned world famous climate change activist. With nothing more than a handful of dreams and the keys to their new lives and coffee house, the girls embark on a mission to renovate the building before summer's end. Mina is less than enthusiastic with their prospects, but she's never been one to back down from a challenge. However, falling off a ladder in the middle of a freak rain shower and into the arms of her childhood crush, Hamza Malik, wasn't part of the plan. But neither was Noura's parents showing up after 6 months of no contact with an ultimatum: return to university, or marry someone of their choosing and continue her business venture, this time with their support, literal and financial. An impossible decision is made so much worse when Nuda learns her parents have chosen none other than sweet, charming, and completely oblivious Hamza Malik. Of freaking course. They do say never start a business with your best friend. Done. Oh, amazing. Wonderful. Okay, I'm very excited to write this if you can't tell. I do think it's going to be more of a rom-com slice of life. It's going to lean more towards slice of life than it is rom-com. But I mean there are rom-com elements. Rom-com, say that 10 times fast. Rom-com, 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 rom-com. But this is my first sort of dip into a happy contemporary story because I don't really write contemporary, and when I do, it has either fantastical elements to it or it's not contemporary, it's more literary fiction, and it's very, very sad. Welcome to my Pinterest. Oh my god. How do we get here? It's like we teleported here. So, I've searched a bunch of different things trying to come up with pictures that I can use for like to create like a collage of aesthetics. These are all of the pins that I have saved for it right now, and I think it's adorable. Like, look at this. Is this not shoujo aesthetic? Like, you get why I was searching shoujo now, right? Shoujo anime protagonist. And then one thing that I really, really love about Pinterest is if you scroll all the way down to like whatever board you're in, it'll have a little feature where you can go and find similar images to what you already have in the board. So let me just go click on that. And you can kind of just scroll through. If anything pops out to you, you can just immediately save it. Like this also. Oh, adorable. And these are little hearts. Oh, the little cats. But like I already have enough cats. Well, there can never be too many cats. The little puddle. Okay, wait. So this will make sense in a little bit, but the puddle, yeah. If you can't tell, this book is very green. I don't know if the green will. Oh my god, Pocky. Wait, sorry. I don't know if green will stay the aesthetic, but for right now, it's very green. Oh, that's adorable. I can literally spend hours on Pinterest, just searching and scrolling. Okay, I'm done scrolling and we're back to the main Pinterest page. This is beautiful. I love this so much. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to Canva and I'm going to make a bunch of different aesthetics. I'm gonna make one for Mina, one for Nura, and then one for just like the overall vibe of the book. Hi, it's voiceover time. So making these aesthetics took a lot longer than I originally thought, and at one point my phone died, but I kept going and decided to keep screen recording. This took me an hour. I'm not joking, literally an hour. But obviously, like, I stopped recording after the first 20 minutes, and I've cut down a lot of it in editing, so this isn't like the full process, but a lot of that time was spent on scrolling through Pinterest and going back and forth on layouts. But these are the final results. This was the first iteration of Mina's aesthetic, and I do adore it, but after I made Nura's, I decided to change it just to fit the general vibe. I did unfortunately have to let go of the moon quote. I do still really love that quote, and I'm thinking about reusing it in a different aesthetic, but for this one, I needed to let it go for aesthetics purposes. But now Nura's final aesthetic really was one and done. Like, I had the easiest time figuring hers out, and the quote in the middle, I mean, mwah, chef's kiss. That encapsulates her so well. Nura literally means light. Like, it's perfect. And then this is the final overall aesthetic. It was the hardest to come up with, but it's also my favorite. And the quote, I ached to be pretty. Oh my god, it fits so well with both characters because yeah, these characters do ache to be pretty, but I think that they do it in different ways and to different people. But that's it from voiceover me. I do want to give a quick disclaimer that the next half of this video was filmed after I broke my fast, so that's why it's, you know, dark and that's why the light changed. But other than that, yeah, take it away past me. Welcome to my Notion page. It's beautiful, isn't it? I love it so much. So I actually use a template from another author. Her name is Rebecca Mix. I'll put her website information in the description down below if you want to go check it out. This is the general template that I use for all of my works. However, I do tweak it just a little bit for every project. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the Notion page from left to right, starting with the one sentence pitch. So this is something that I just came up with very like spur of the moment, just put it together. It's not polished by any means, and it's subject to change. All of this is subject to change. The pitch reads as follows. In an attempt to follow their dreams, two best friends must overcome gossiping relatives, pesky colleagues, marriage prospects, and even each other. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do really like that pitch. And then for the different acts, let me actually show you what's in them. So for Act 1, I have renovations have already begun, character intros, Malik and the ultimatum. And then for Act 2, I have ramp up tensions and decision. So decisions about the marriage and the storefront. And then for Act 3, the grand opening, and I wanted to add some sort of like ticking time clock scenario, maybe a competition, competing with a bakery maybe, because what I was thinking originally, I don't think that this is how I'm going to take it, but what I was originally thinking was like the coffee shop was on a sort of, I don't know what it would be called, but it's like a strip thing where they have a bunch of different stores lining it. I don't think that that's what I want necessarily anymore. However, when I was brainstorming up, that's what came out. Okay, and then for Act 4, I have just chaos ensues final stretch. That's basically every last act. So those are my acts. That's my pitch. Moving on to the middle, I did change some of the sections. So the WIP is still the same, but this second one used to be something else. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I have changed it. The turning points is very specific to this book. I don't have this section for any other novel that I'm currently working on. This is something that I might adapt into my other novels, but this idea sort of came to me for this specific novel. So what I'm thinking right now is that because this book is a dual POV, it's a dual POV novel, I was thinking that I would have sort of turning points for each character. So for Mina, it's apartment, bedroom, coffee house, train station. And then for Nura, I forgot her name. For Nura, it's a convenience store, gold store, lake house, and academy. And then I have the vibe. So what I mean when I say the vibe of a story is a bunch of like very short sentences about the sort of general vibe of the story. So let's do one of my novels called Refracted Sunlight. This is one that I introduced in the tier ranking video. Yeah, the tier ranking video. So when I say like the general vibes of the story for Refracted Sunlight, this is what I mean. Trigger warning for mentions of and visual depictions of blood and disassociation. For your own health, please skip ahead 15 seconds. breath against a window pane, digging nails into your forearms, a foreign feeling inside your own body, tragedies during a sunny day, nosebleeds, the slow build of a guttural scream, sunlight warming your skin, sun showers, till death reunites us. So that's what I mean when I say general vibe of the story. It's a bunch, it's a collection of things, feelings, emotions, quotes that give the general vibe of the story. And for Coffee House WIP, the general vibe of the story is as follows. High noon in July, splotchy henna stains on white tees, the roar of a familiar laugh, soft chatter and jingling keys at sunrise, confessions whispered to a sinking sun, the murmurs of a babbling brook, clinking of gold bangles, petting convenience store cats. The moon is beautiful tonight. Dusty journals overflowing with memories, capillary waves in puddles, a bedroom ceiling adorned in glow-in-the-dark star stickers and indie boy band posters, wind-ruffled hijabs, the clinical bedroom of a 13-year-old girl, warm tears sliding down wind-burned cheeks, the heady passion of new dreams, rewriting the futures we painted in the stars. So as you can see, this rom-commy, cheesy story kind of transformed into a more contemporary slice of life, which is why I'm sort of combining all four genres into one mishmash of a genre. So moving on to the characters, I named this, what is this called, like a database? I named it Protag's Gonna Protag because yeah, Protag's gonna protag. So let's go into Nura's section. So going through this, I divided it up into two sections. I'm gonna add more stuff because what I want to do is I want to add in the aesthetic of like the specific character. I don't know if I'm gonna add it as a board or if I'm gonna add it just as like a regular picture inside the document, but I do want to add more things as I keep going throughout the draft and I like explore her character and obviously Mina's character too and learn more about them. So right now I just have character basics and personality and traits. So for Nura, her name obviously is Nura. I do not have a last name for her. I don't have a last name for Asma or Mina yet, which if you don't remember, Asma is Saint Asma the cousin. Nura's age is 21, obviously high school dropout. She's the same age as me. But Nura, or not Nura, but Mina is technically 20 when she drops out because she has like a later birthday. And then something that I do with my characters is I give them like a specific want. What do they actually like at their core want to be? So certain characters want to be loved more than anything. Certain characters want to, provide more than anything, or they want to be a hero more than anything. For Nura, she wants to be fulfilled more than anything. And being at university, majoring in nursing, it sort of felt like she was being pushed down a specific path instead of paving her own way, which is something that she is particularly passionate about because in the tragic backstory section, we learn that her parents are actually like surgeons. So they basically have like zero time to spend with their daughter. So she was raised by her grandparents. And you can see here, I said that her grandparents were strict. And she was actually a little relieved when they died. So they this is actually really tragic and sad. So they were on their way to Nura's graduation when they died in a car accident. And she says, like, hey, this isn't me, all right? This is her. She said that she was relieved when they died on her like graduation day, and when she was walking across the stage she cried a little bit, and a lot of people thought that it was because like, oh, she misses her grandparents, like, oh, they died in this tragic accident, but no, it was because she finally like felt this weight lift off her shoulders. She was finally free from them. However, she did end up going to the university that they picked out for her, and she did end up majoring in the major that they picked out for her. So her dropping out of university is like a little symbolic moment for her. Oh, and I also said that she wants to be a constant in the community and for her to be a sort of anchor point in the community, which if you think about her trauma, it makes sense, right? I forgot I wrote this. Uncle turned out to be a bum coffee shop owner, and they're probably rolling in their graves right now. They most definitely are, especially because Nura got the coffee shop from her uncle, who he didn't pass away, he just retired. And then for her personality, I actually went back and forth on her personality because I couldn't decide if I wanted her to be bubbly, optimistic, or if I wanted her to be more practical. And I decided in the end that I wanted her to be more practical because it made more sense with her upbringing. So what I said was, because she's practical when it comes to most things, but hard-headed when it comes to the things that she's passionate about, which makes sense. Fiercely loyal, you know, if you cross Mina, you cross her. And then to be able to add in the bubbly optimist side of her, I said that people are quick to describe her that way because upon first impression, that's kind of what you think of her, is a sort of like a really snooty princessy type because she does come from wealth. I also thought it would be funny if I made her like absolutely despise animals except for Mina's cat. Like Mina's cat is the exception. And then I wanted her to meet another cat in the convenience store. That's why I had, let's go back up. That's why I had the convenience store as one of like the key turning point moments, is because she meets another cat there. And I think that will be number one, funny, because a rivalry with the convenience store cat across the street, hilarious. And then number two, I was thinking like maybe she goes in there and the cat died. Wait, or maybe the cat comforts her. I don't know yet. Yeah, I want her to have a rivalry with a convenience store cat across the street. And I want to make it an orange cat because I have an orange cat and he is a terror. Don't let him fool you, alright? Because he will be nice and sweet and cuddly and then he'll bite you. He'll go in for the kill out of nowhere. What did I do? Why are you doing this to me? And then I gave her a couple of character traits. So number one, she wears fake jewelry because she likes, like, when they tarnish, they sort of leave that weird green band around your fingers, because when she was growing up it was very much gold or nothing. So now as a kind of adult, she wears silver jewelry, like fake silver jewelry that tarnishes, and then she also prefers energy drinks over coffee. I thought that would be kind of funny to make a coffee shop order like an energy drink person, because I'm an energy drink person. I don't really like coffee, but I do like caffeine. And then she also hates Blue Hour. As a self-proclaimed hater of romance, she watches a suspicious amount of K-dramas. I'm onto you. I'm onto you, Nuda. I am. Oh, I hate romance. Oh, I'm just practical. Oh, it's a contract. Okay, sure. Sure, alright. You can fool yourself, but not me, okay? I made you. And that's everything that I have for Nuda. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. I have 3 different ways that I'm going to be tracking my writing. So this is how I'm going to be tracking my chapters. I'm going to be tracking whether or not it's done with a little checkbox. And then the chapter title I'm going to put here. I adore chapter titles and I think that we should have more of them. And then I'm going to be tracking POV over here because I want to track out like how many chapters each character is getting, because if one character is getting more chapters than the other, I want to go back and, you know, see if I need to cut chapters or add chapters, or maybe if I just need to cut a POV entirely. And then over here are my acts. For this project I am splitting it up into 4 acts. And then over here are my 1-sentence summaries, just to give myself a quick overview about what happened in the chapter. I know that the one that I clicked on is technically 2 sentences, but like, semantics. As long as it's short and succinct, I'll be good. And then the next column is the word count column. So I am thinking that this is gonna be like the chapters are gonna be on the shorter end. So I gave myself a word count goal of 1,000 words per chapter, which, if you didn't know, is very short. It's very, very short. And then the last 2 columns are status and completed on. Completed on is like very straightforward. It's just the day that I completed the chapter on. And then status is like where that chapter specifically is right now. So the 4 categories that I have are not started, brainstorming, working on, and done for now. The second way that I'm going to be tracking my progress is through stickers. So I have a Pinterest board for these stickers specifically, and every project gets its own specific mini board inside of the larger board, and every 1,000 words that I write, I get a sticker. And then the last way that I track my writing is through a calendar. It's pretty self-explanatory. I just want to track how often I'm writing. Oh my god, I never talked to you about the right side of the board. Okay, so I mean, it's pretty like self-explanatory. You can see I have the date that I started this project, the status that it's in. It's currently in like the planning slash drafting stage, and then this little thing tracks like how far into the story that I am. And then over here is just the to-do. So today's to-dos, this week's priorities, and then March goals. And then I just change this depending on what the month is. So for today, I wanted to complete my Notion page, and I wanted to finish my Pinterest board slash, or not Pinterest board, but I wanted to compile my Pinterest board and then make aesthetics out of the images that I have in the board. And then this week I want to complete all of my prep and I want to start drafting. And then by the end of March, I want to have at least like a 50,000 word draft, like a rough draft, because rom-coms I think tend to be like 50 to 10, or not, oh my god, 10, 50 to 70,000 words. And I'm probably going to aim closer to the 70K for like a genuine completed draft. But for this month, I think that 50K is like the goal that I'm shooting for, which is kind of crazy considering we are like a week into March and I haven't written a single word. Oh my god, you know what I should add? I should add a tropes page. So some of the tropes that I want to see in this that I'm thinking about adding are like I want some family drama and also friends to lovers, which is superior, jealousy, angst, hurt comfort, very classic fanfic tropes that I'm gonna put in here. I listen, this is only for me. When you think about it, it's sort of like a palette cleanser for everything else that I've been writing, all of the gritty, dark, sad things. This is like happy go lucky and also a little dramatic. Speaking of drama, I also think that I want some sort of like dramatic yelling confession thing because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? This really is just for fun, so I don't really care about spoilers. But I was thinking about sort of like wedding fake out scene towards the end, maybe like the last chapter or like the epilogue. And then also similarly, we could have some sort of fake dating slash courting thing because there's not really dating. But also I do want to say that like a lot of these tropes are leaning towards the romance side of this of the rom-com, but I don't think that the romance is gonna be particularly prevalent, if that makes sense, which might undermine the whole rom-com aspect of the rom-com. I feel like this is gonna be more of like a slice of life type thing. It's more about best friends and friendship and overcoming tragedies and past traumas. Okay, let's move back to the characters. So for Mina, obviously, like I said, she's 20. I think her birthday would be somewhere like late July, early August. And I have a couple of different wants that she could want. So I think that she would not want to be in the spotlight. I don't think that she would want to be an anchor point like Nura. I think that she's subdued but petty, and I think that her want would come from, again, childhood trauma. So I think hers would be to be an individual, be someone outside of her family, outside of her mother specifically, because mother daughter trauma. One thing I will do is write a complicated family relationship, and if it's a mother daughter relationship, oh my god. Absolutely, abso-freaking-lutely. And then for the tragic backstory, I do think that, obviously there's a complicated mother-daughter relationship, but it's more than that because she's like the main source of gossip in the entire family. And I mean, like, what does that do to a child, like psychologically? Hearing your relatives whisper about you and having things that people said about you come back to you through like a third party source is kind of insane and wild. I do feel like generally she would come off as very like stone faced, subdued, but on the inside, she is just like seething with anger. She is not a forgive and forget kind of person. She's not even like a, I forgive you, but I'll never forget. She's like, I will never forgive you and I will never forget. High road be damned, and I will bring it up every single chance that I get. And then you know what? We could have a scene where maybe, because so the aunt has another kid, it's a son who was a recent computer science graduate, and I thought that it would be kind of funny to poke fun at computer science majors because I used to be a computer science major and be like, yeah, he's just sitting in the basement and just wallowing. And then the aunt convinces Mina to have him be an employee in the coffee house, and she's like, okay, sure, but he is gonna be working for me. He's gonna work under me. And I could have a scene where maybe they disagree on something and he whispers under his breath, oh, no wonder so and so said that, and maybe she just like snaps. I think that that would be fun. Another big aspect of Mina is like rain and water, and specifically like puddles. There's a lot of puddles in this. I don't know why. So a lot of times when a character is sort of standing under the rain, it like symbolizes like rebirth and renewal and change. I don't think that she needs to change. I don't think that she needs to be like rebirthed. I just think that she needs therapy. I think she needs to be on a little bit of medication, a little bit of therapy, and I think she'll be good. Right now, she's at like a 10, and she needs to just, bring it down a couple of notches. And I think it would be good for her to hate the rain for a specific reason. I just don't know what that specific reason would be right now. And then maybe she can like reference the freak rain shower, rainstorm that happens, and she can be like, I knew it. It was the rain. It was symbolized from the very beginning. I should have known. So Mina is very obviously like petty and spiteful, right? So when anyone asks her what she's doing with her degree, like what she plans on doing with it, she's like, oh, PR manager for big oil. Yeah, I want to pollute the climate. At the core of it, it really is just Nuda versus the cat and Mina versus Saint Usma. I also think it's hilarious that she calls her Saint Usma. Also, I want her hatred of her other relatives to be like for a specific reason, for the gossiping. But for Usma, it's like a very, very tiny, tiny thing that she did when like years ago, and she's like, I don't even remember. What are you talking about? That never happened. And then she's like, yeah, it did. Here's the proof. I have it on record. And it's like, oh my God, you're insane. And she's like, yeah, but I do want Mina and Asma to make up at the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a very fun time filming it. It did take me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take me to film it. It is actually currently, it's midnight. It's past midnight. I'm gonna go. I had a fun time. I hope you had a fun time. If you want to share what projects you're working on currently in the comments, go for it. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, have a nice night.